All right, Nick, the NFL schedules have been released. Vegas has been writing things down, making some odds, seeing who's favored over who. And my Ravens seem to have gotten a pretty fair shake of things. What do you have on this?
Yeah, especially for a team that missed the playoffs and finished actually with a losing record with 8-9. Todd Karpovich over at SI.com reports that the Ravens are favorites in 13 of their 17 matchups this season. Notable games that are not favorites are obviously Buffalo. They are a slight underdog. Makes sense. Buffalo is one of the better teams in the NFL. Road games at the Cincinnati and at Cleveland late in the year, and also at Tampa Bay. So currently there are 3 of their 4 games that are not favored on the road, which is surprisingly high. Obviously, Vegas thinks very highly of the Ravens' chances this season. What do you think of this report?
I like it. The only one I don't agree with is Cleveland on the road. I don't care. We've dominated Cleveland a lot recently. And with a lot of turmoil and changes in Cleveland, I just don't have a lot of faith in the team. I don't know if Deshaun's going to be their quarterback or not, so I don't agree with that one. Obviously, Tampa, tough team.
Yeah.
Bills, tough team. Bengals, we're in the Super Bowl, so a tough team. And the Bengals have our number. They shellacked us in both games last year. It's pretty tough team to go up against. But this is a different Ravens team. They're returning numerous players from the injured reserve. They're strong in the secondary. They signed Fuller now, so that gives them a really strong third option at corner as well. So Baltimore is primed to go on a run here. Now, I do particularly like them to play with a chip on their shoulder. I don't like when the media gives them too much praise, but I tend to agree with them here that I think it's going to be a much improved and a much different Ravens team this year.
Yeah, they've obviously gotten healthier and made massive upgrades in the secondary and in the draft with Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams, and of course getting Linderbaum as well, and their 2 tight ends in the 4th round. I think 2 things jump out at me here when I look at this, the early odds. How about in Week 14 when Baltimore travels to Pittsburgh? Vegas has the Ravens a early favorite in that game. When's the last time you've had Baltimore going to Pittsburgh late in the year and being a clear favorite? That's a really good sign if you're a Ravens fan. Good indication there. When I look at the teams that I mentioned, the 4 games that where the Ravens are the underdog, look at the quarterbacks they're going up against. That's Josh Allen, that's Tom Brady, that's theoretically Deshaun Watson, and then Joe Burrow. Like that tells you to the level of talent and coaching quality Vegas thinks Baltimore has. We're the only 4 teams that right now have a betting edge, literally have all pro superstar caliber quarterbacks, or in Brady's case, the greatest quarterback of all time. That tells you to what Vegas thinks the moves the Ravens have made in the offseason and of the guys they have healthy. And really it speaks volumes about Lamar Jackson, right? There's only, obviously Joe Burrow is only favored to beat Lamar Jackson at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, that kind of makes you think. Vegas says, hey, Burrow, Deshaun Watson, kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, and, Lamar's done nothing but prove himself in that aspect. Since year 2000, the most winningest quarterbacks in the regular season, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Peyton Manning. So, I mean, Lamar is a winner in the regular season. He hasn't had a ton of postseason success yet, but in the regular season, he has a knack for just all he does is win. A few years ago, the 14-2 season, like Lamar, when he has a full team, it's at full steam. He is lights out. A lot of ball control, a lot of bully ball, control the clock, ball hawking, hard hitting defense. The Ravens are a team that you don't want to go against when they're at full strength. Last year it was tough, but even when it was tough last year, they still took it to Super Bowl champion LA Rams. They took it to Green Bay, even when Lamar wasn't playing. Even at their weakest, they were still tough. So I can see if you glimpse last year, even though it was a losing season, it was still a good season, and they proved themselves a lot. I think this is a very deserving accolade for Baltimore going into the season.
Well, and I think when you look at some of these other ones, it's actually even more astounding a little bit, because you have the Ravens are favorites going to Foxborough to play the Patriots week 3. How often are the Patriots a home underdog? I can't really think of a time, maybe since Brady returned a couple years ago. And when you look at some other games here that I think are really blow my mind a little bit, when they play Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, they're favorites. that tells you what Vegas thinks of both this team and of Lamar Jackson. If I'm a Ravens fan right now, as I know you are, I'm really excited to see this because, like we always talk about, Vegas is where a lot of the smart money is, and right now the smart money is betting on the Ravens.